260-day calendar is used more that way. The long count seems to have been much more of a kind of civil calendar, which was being used to record dates, not so much as a predictive way. And so it is in many ways even more analogous to our own civil calendar, which is meant as a recording device, not so much as an augury device. But in any way, all of this that I told you kind of doesn't matter, because the information got out anyway. Somehow somebody decided the Maya predicted the end of the world in 2012, and bad information always travels deeper and faster than good information does.
Do you know that when the sort of myth started perpetuating, like when did that happen, or how did it happen?
There was definitely at least one scholar who I think now regrets that he started it off. He kind of had thought of, he was kind of mixing Aztec cosmology with Maya cosmology, because the Aztec do have this idea of of great period cycles, meaning destruction, that the world actually comes to an end and the gods kind of start over again. And the Maya believed that the Aztec believed that we are currently in the fourth age of the world, and the fourth age, well, they actually did say that the fourth age of the world would come to an end in great earthquakes and volcanoes, which of course makes a lot of sense since the Aztecs lived in an area which is prone to earthquakes and volcanoes.
And the big volcano is now kind of erupting in Mexico City, Popocatépetl.
That's right,
So,
yeah. It started, the big volcano near Mexico City has actually become a little more active in the last little while. However, the Aztec period ending shouldn't happen for another couple hundred years, so I don't know what's going on there. I think it's just a volcano acting up. Let me check the time. All right. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some of these ideas that are out there in the media about supposed things that the Maya predicted. Well, of course, we know that they didn't predict any of these things, but really it's kind of modern people have decided, oh, well, this could do us in, or this could do us in. And what I wanted to do in the rest of the talk is actually kind of look at some of those different scenarios. And I've actually picked scenarios for ones that actually have some semblance of reality in them, which often then makes it harder for people to figure out what the truth of it is. So I'm going to spend a little time actually kind of looking at some of these scenarios that actually have some aspect of reality, but try to understand what's really going on there. Right? So the first one I'll mention actually is kind of more connected with people talking about what the Maya may have or may have not said or known about certain astronomical events, or certain astronomical, I should say, alignments. And one of these is called the so-called Great Galactic Alignment. The idea is that on December 21st, 2012, the sun is going to be in the center of our galaxy. The 21st of December is actually a solstice. That's when the sun, we have the longest nights and the shortest days in the northern hemisphere, opposite the southern hemisphere. And the sun reaches its most northerly setting and rising points on our horizons. So the idea is that the Maya knew about this, and they set the ending of their long count calendar to coincide with this alignment. Now, I haven't said so much about their astronomy at this point, but I will mention that we know that they wrote a lot about the beginning of time and the creation event. And the creation event is astronomically important. It was actually a solar zenith passage at 15 degrees latitude, which is one of the areas where many archaeologists believe kind of the use of the calendar may have first started. Solar zenith passage is when the sun goes directly overhead. That doesn't happen up here in the north, it only happens in the tropics, but it's a fairly significant time, especially in the cosmology of the Maya. So, yeah.
I'm just wondering, excuse me, is the solar zenith, is that an annual occurrence?
It actually happens twice a year. It happens, well, it depends on what latitude you're at as to when it happens. When you're right at the tropics, it only happens once a year. So there's a lot more evidence to think that the Maya were interested, they're more interested in the creation event and the astronomy there than this one, and I'll tell you why. It's because this galactic alignment happens every year. Right? So it's actually not particularly special. The fact that the sun can be seen with the backdrop of the galaxy behind it happens actually twice a year. It happens once on the side of the galaxy that's actually close to the center, and then it happens again on the other side of the galaxy. You have to remember that the galaxy is a disk, like a CD, and we're inside that disk about a little more than halfway out from the center of the disk. So when we look around in the night sky, the galaxy looks like a band of light that surrounds us. So we can see the sun twice a year, and it doesn't matter, any solar system would kind of have this arrangement occur. Twice a year, we'll see the sun kind of coincide with the galaxy. So the idea is that this would cause something to happen. This will cause one of these disasters that's going to happen. However, it happens twice a year forever. Like since the Earth first started circling the sun 4.5 billion years ago, this has been occurring. So why would this year be any special?
Sorry to keep jumping in.
Yeah.
Another question, I'm interested in how I would go about teaching this to middle school students, and I've seen neat models where you can sort of use ping pong balls and a tennis ball and sort of represent the way planets are orbiting each other. And so just for my own understanding, I'm wondering, is the solar zenith alignment, is that the same day when the passage of, when it appears that the passage of the sun is aligned with the galaxy, or are those two separate occurrences?
Oh, they're separate occurrences. Yeah. There's always some time. There's this. If you're reading the slides, there's this 25,000-year cycle that's mentioned, and so somewhere in the 25,000-year cycle, there'll be a time when they'll be on the same date. But that actually is, I think, thousands of years out of sync from our time and the Maya's time as well.
And when is it that that